So always fight for the starting position. If you're open, take the shot. Do you know what I mean? Like if you are, take the shot. If give the speech if you're invited to give a speech. Say the bold prayer in front of a room full of people, regardless of how, just be a go for it kid. Okay. I don't care if you make mistakes. I don't care if you goof it all up. I don't care if you airball the ball. I don't care. I just want you to go for it.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jackie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world. Okay, we are back. And we are still in studio with the new 13-year-old, the new teenager, the new birthday boy, Druce Francis.
How do you say that? That's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I have a question for you, Druce. What's the difference between a well-dressed man on a unicycle and a poorly dressed man on a bicycle?
What?
Attire.
That's funny, Mom. You got
Okay, this is funny. This guy said he said, I hate my job. All I do is crush cans all day. It's soda pressing.
That wasn't funny, was it?
That was funny.
No, was it? No.
Of all the inventions of the last 100 years, the dry erase board has to be the most remarkable.
Dad's on a roll today.
These are good ones.
Yes.
How come Druce laughs more than you, Mom?
You gotta laugh more.
It must be a boy
Mom.
thing.
You gotta laugh more. So, all right, let's take a little bit of time and we'll go through. Mom and I will give you a couple of just thoughts to consider as you enter into your teenage years here. It won't be everything, but it'll be the stuff off the top of our mind. And also, if you have any questions, then we can go through that right here and now also. But we talked the last couple episodes about all the great things you've been doing. Just keep doing them. That's
More
the
of
first
it.
one. Keep doing them. But you just got to be aware. It'll probably some of the stuff will get more challenging. Okay. The reality is, the word of God says be in the world, but not of the world.
Yeah.
And we need to be in the world. We can't shield everything. When kids are small, I feel like there needs to be a level of shielding just because their minds aren't developed enough to be able to handle it. And it's our job to protect them. However, as you get older, we have to start giving you more opportunities to be able to stand your ground for what you believe in and who you are, despite what's going on around you, because mom and dad won't always be able to be there.
Right.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And so I feel like your teenage years, there's a lot of introduction to that, and meaning that there's going to be times when you're going to be out there by yourself without a mom and dad looking over your shoulder or there to even be able to protect you. And so you just have to constantly make sure that you're not falling prey to what some of the standards of the world are. For instance, here we got people like Bella, who is in 10th grade basketball right now, and she's getting more and more opportunities to be there with the team. Mom and I usually just drop her off, even when she does some team building things. We were very proud of her when the other day where they were doing some kind of a get together, and she texted you early, right, Mom, and said, "Hey, listen, you can come get me," because everybody's just kind of on their phones at this point, and everybody's just checking whatever, and she didn't really want to be around it, because we don't really do that, and that's just a great example, for you to be able to follow. You're gonna have kids that are going to for sure be using social media and stuff more. They're going to be trying to show you weird TikTok videos, or they're going to be, the thing is, that stuff is, it's crazy how appealing it is when you just look. It's like hard. You're in an airport or a restaurant, and you got stuff on TV that we wouldn't normally watch. It's hard not to watch it.
Well, and I think it's so important with you bringing that up that parents get on the same page about this. Let's start at the beginning of that, because whether it's TikTok, YouTube videos, any social media under the sun you can think of now, all the apps, everything like that. I mean, it's very addicting. I mean, the smartphones have been making us stupider every year.
Yeah.
And so if they can do that to adults, imagine what they're doing to young minds that are still developing.
Yeah, there's legit, programming to actually try to convince you of things through the programming and get you to buy things and
Right. And I think one of the biggest things that I'm trying to say is that as parents, you need to be on the same page as what you're letting your kids watch. At the standard at our house is we have it very clear what we allow our children to watch, what media they get to be a part of, how much of it, the whole 9 yards. We're on the same page about that up front.
Yep, totally.
We didn't discuss it with the kids first and then come up with a plan. We discussed it with each other and then told them the plan.
Yeah.
And so with that, then when they are in environments like Bella's situation that happens to just be, hanging out with a group of friends and they start pulling up medias that she knows for our house, it's just not the standard. It's just not the standard.
Right.
She's ready to be picked up. She can't drive yet. So she said, hey, will you come get me? But like Abby said, having those conversations, she got in the car and she said, yeah, they were looking at blah, blah, blah. And I didn't want to be around that because I don't want to be tempted to look at that. I said, I'm really proud of you. And even if you did see something, just talk to me about it. Let's be open about it. Like, I'm not saying there's not going to be situations that you're like, yeah, I got sucked in, Mom. Like, I was watching this, Well, then let's talk about it because maybe you saw something that actually is just a great topic for us to discuss as a family.
Sure. I mean, just off of what we were saying earlier, like, for Hunter right now, she's just turned 6. We're not going to let her watch certain things at all, But you guys now that are in your teens, probably there'll be more introduction of just different movies, and it can be even simple movies. We're not going to go watch like evil stuff. Like we don't participate in occult type stuff, scary movies, things like that. But all of a sudden you're starting to want to watch a sports movie, but I know that there's a decent level of cussing in there, etc. And we can now navigate that together and talk it through about what's right, what's wrong. Because again, you can't be shielded from this stuff forever.
Right.
I like when you ask me questions like, Dad, what's this?
Mean.
Whatever the cuss word is, we get in the car after you heard something, you ask about it. And I'm just like, I'm thankful that you do that.
Yep.
Because you're going to be around it more and more is the point, right? Because unfortunately, most of the other kids that are going to enter their teenage years right now they're a couple years ahead of you. They're not being guided this way. And so they're kind of like, yeah, grab your phone and get out of here or go hang with your friends and go stay the night and do whatever. And they're really experiencing a lot of things that probably they shouldn't be experiencing without help.
Yes.
But then you have enough of the kids around you and all of a sudden they can start making you feel like a weirdo if you aren't participating. And there's a lot of weird, what it means, peer pressure, right?
Yes.
Like they'll try to pressure you. So imagine there's 10 people on your basketball team and 9 of them want to go do something you shouldn't be doing. They might all, just because it points out their lack of character, whether they know it or not, and they feel threatened by someone who's standing for right. And so instead of like coming to the right side, a lot of times because they don't know what to do, they'll just start like making fun of you to try to get you to just fit in with them.
But I want to, again, so glad you brought that up. Because again, I think parents need to step in here and teach your kids how to handle those situations, which is what, we are doing, is teaching our kids how to handle those situations. But on top of that, we teach our kids early on too, not to like be one of those people that would even be a judger if somebody can't do something. So there are some things that certain friends of your guys's that get to do stuff that you guys might not do. And actually, I don't have a problem with it. It's okay for their family standard and stuff like that. But we don't make fun of them for that either.
Sure.
So I think it's so important for parents to step in and say, hey, everybody's standard is different.
Yeah.
Everybody's family standards are different. Do you know what I mean? Here's ours. So as a Francis, this is how we are going to behave.
And just be strong enough, right?
And if somebody else, their standards are different, let them behave in the way that they feel like works for their family. And so we're not ones that judge, like whatever movies you feel is okay for your family, that's between you and your family, But we just feel like for our kids, it's so important for us to remind them of their standard for our family because then it aligns with how we want to parent them.
So stand out. Mm-hmm. You don't have to fit in.
No.
Right? Just expect, though, that you will probably get what the Bible calls persecution, meaning that you'll have some pushback. You'll have some people who will challenge it. You'll have some people who might try to make fun of you. And I learned a long time ago that if the average person isn't making fun of you at some level, that's not a good thing, because that means you're just like them. And you have to just learn to like be good with being different, like be good with being, with doing your best to like honor God's word in your life, in a world that is trying to remove it completely. The reality is those of us that are trying to follow our faith and act as according to the word, we fit in less and less with the world over time. However, we're supposed to be a light on the hill.
That's
we're
right.
supposed to be a city on the hill and a light in the dark. And so just make sure that you're managing yourself and you make the choices to not engage with things that you shouldn't engage in, whether we're there or not, right?
Because it's best for you and for your
right.
heart. One of the things I always teach the girls as they have developed into high school and had opportunities to get around more people in sports and stuff like that, and opportunities to get some more freedoms away from us and around their friends, is to just remember that these teenage years are a season. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get really caught up thinking it's your whole life. Yeah. People get really caught up thinking that, oh my gosh, missing this friend party is going to ruin me. Mm-hmm. Or not going to homecoming is going to ruin me. Or not getting to do, adventure sleepover things are going to ruin me. Or, not getting to do something that your friends are doing. Oh, it's going to ruin me, Mom. And high school is a season that goes on to another season and then goes on to another season. And I look back now and I think to myself, the kind of the immature thought process I had was that everything I do right now matters for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. And it was in a negative way, not in a way that was positive. Like if I don't get to do this, Mom and Dad, if I don't get to drive on the first day of turning 16, that's going to ruin me. It's going to ruin my friendship group. This is horrible. My parents don't understand.
Yeah.
Come to find out later that, okay, it didn't matter if it was 16, 17, or 18. What matters is doing it right with proper standards that will help you for the future. Mm-hmm. So I think remembering that some people are going to think high school is so important, they have to do everything their friends are doing, or it just is not going to be fun, and it's going to ruin me for the rest of my life. High school is about 4 years, which is a blip of your life. Mm-hmm. But what we do with our standards, how we honor God, how we honor our family, how we honor ourselves will take you until adulthood.
Yeah. So I'll give you one more tip here. I really want you in your teenage years to face into opportunities. Okay. In other words, like fight for starting positions. Right? Like I don't care if you show up and there's 50 kids that are better than you currently, because there's a lot of competition around here. You just fight for it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Remember, it's all about your best.
Yes.
It's all about working hard. And whatever your best is at that point, as long as you're leveraging it, the thing you don't want to do is you don't want to sit there and start being fearful that you're going to look silly or that you're not going to be able to win, because then you don't give your best.
Yep.
Just remember this. Your best is enough, but your best is required, right? And that is just it's something I want you to develop through this teenage season, in particular through sports, because it'll take you through the rest of your life and everything that you do. I can remember times when I got fearful and I didn't do the thing. And it like literally haunts you later on, because you always wonder what if. And I don't want you to ever wonder what if, so always fight for the starting position. If you're open, take the shot. Do you know what I mean? Like if you are, take the shot. If give the speech, if you're invited to give a speech, say the bold prayer in front of a room full of people, regardless of how, like, just be a go for it kid. Okay. I don't care if you make mistakes. I don't care if you goof it all up. I don't care if you airball the ball. I don't care. I just want you to go for it. Does that make sense?
I love that. That's so important.
And so if you'll live by that, man, you're going to experience so much. Okay. If you don't do that, I swear to God, it's almost like you let a crack open in your heart that Satan starts trying to get into to make you live by fear more and more and more as time goes on.
And I think my last thing, if I could say, is as you make mistakes, because we all do, like no matter how much prep work you do, there's going to be mistakes. We've all made them. You're going to continue to make them. I mean, I make them, every day. But as you do, remember, you don't need to do it all by yourself. As you make mistakes, bring them. Let us help you. If things happen and you're like, I just kind of messed up here, bring it to us, because we'll walk through it with you. You never
100%.
have to walk through mistakes alone.
No.
It doesn't matter how ugly it looks. It doesn't look how messy it is. It doesn't matter if you think, if I tell them I am going to be in so much trouble. Okay, there might be repercussions, but we'll go through them together. We're going to walk through them together, and you're never alone. And I think it's so important to remember that no matter what it is, we will walk through it together.
Yeah. And so, okay, another couple quick ones here. Keep supporting your siblings. I don't think I have to even tell you that. But you know what? They're going to be, as you know, you're the only boy, and as they get older, they're going to need a little protection, both from me and from you. And so let's just be a team. How about that? Okay. Whether it's just like making sure that they're encouraged properly or making sure that they're taken care of, right?
Looking out for them.
Another
all the
one,
time.
I want to encourage you to pursue adventure with me. Okay. Just know that you don't always have to just go find a group of friends your age. I want to do stuff with you too. I want to go take the trip with you and experience the thing with you, you know? So just don't be afraid to ask, because I want to do that. And then, I will say the last one I want to say is we're running out of time here is I really want to encourage you to go to a new level of trying to grow spiritually.
I love that.
Okay. I want you to realize that, you know, I believe that you are like a David, where you are a man after God's own heart, but it's like a muscle that you build and you got to work out. Right. And so just like take it upon yourself to be like, okay, I'm not going to just passively try to engage in a relationship with God. I'm going to study this. I'm going to start trying to apply this more in my life. I'm going to start speaking more things. I'm going to start, you know, having my own prayer time. You know, I'm going to start talking to God a little bit more. I'm going to start inviting the Holy Spirit to guide me in decisions, you know, along the way. And I just think that if you build that muscle, man, you know, you've had a lot of prophetic words over your life.
Yeah.
And a lot of those prophetic words are how you are supposed to lead. You're supposed to lead with your faith.
And it starts now. You don't have to wait till you're older.
That's right.
That it starts now. You're leading many people right now.
Yeah.
And it's going to take some real relationship with the Lord.
So we're excited to be on the journey with you. It's going to be a super successful one.
Yeah.
You know, in the name of Jesus, we just bless it. We bless your teenage years. We bless you and everything that you're going to do and all the people you're going to impact. And we just know that you're destined for so much. And we're so proud of you. We love you.
Thank you, Dad.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.